Hello, how you doing? I hope that you're doing good. I am Meredith and I am an astrologer and an intuitive based out of the mountains of North Carolina. I'm kind of sleepy, but I'm going to make this video anyway about Mars and Mercury and how they're changing signs this week. So toward the end of July 4th and on the 5th, Mars is going to move into Taurus and Mercury is going to move into Cancer. So Mars has been in Aries. Mars is the planet of like aggression, your will, war. It's the planet that has to do with like taking action to get what you want in the world. So it's very masculine in that way. And Mars has been in Aries for the last like month and some change. And that's been really nice because I feel like up until really like recently, when it started to make a square aspect to Pluto, which is can cause conflicts and turbulence and probably like more accidents on the road, I would say, and like just can come with like this feeling of like being at battle or being at war. It's like, I don't know, especially because in 2020, Mars took a retrograde station in the last half of the year. And, Mars was squaring Pluto at exactly where that happened, like just now. So it's like there is some measure maybe of like, the past kind of coming back and repeating itself from 2020 and maybe we can see kind of advancement in our lives and in the world of things that were going on during that time. So Mars is moving into Taurus July 5th, which is tomorrow. It's Monday. It's toward the end of the day. So probably like here on the East Coast anyway, I'll be asleep before Mars moves into Taurus, especially because I am a grandmother with my sleep schedule and sleep calendar and stuff like that. But um, Mars slows down a lot in Taurus. Like Mars loves to be in Aries. So I'm sure we just all got a bunch of shit done, and we're not running into like too many problems. I know that like there toward the end, Mars has made some difficult aspects, but then moving into Taurus, it becomes a lot harder to get things done. We begin to kind of slow down. We begin to like kind of become lethargic. Like Mars and Taurus person in their natal chart is not going to do anything really that they don't want to do. They're going to be kind of slow to, to make choices and decisions. And so in some ways, I think that this portends somewhat of a slowdown, not just in your individual energy, but I think that like, if we don't like in America, we haven't had to like think too much about this, but now it's like we're kind of having to think about this where like, okay, it's a little bit hard to get this, or it's a little hard to get this, or like, and having to budget a new way too, because Mars is, and Taurus is going to bring up the whole financial thing. So Mars makes some interesting aspects towards the end of July, and I've talked about this before, and I'll link the video where I did, but later on, like in the end of, so Mars is in Taurus from July 5th until August 20th, and what this means for Mars to be going into Taurus headed into a conjunction or a connection with Uranus and the North Node, this can lead to like civil unrest or like uprising. I would say that like whatever this is, it kind of looks like some kind of event, and this conjunction is from like the 29th of July all the way up until the 5th or the 10th really of August is when that conjunction is really tight. And Mars gets involved. Let's just see when like the height of Mars's involvement in this is, because that's going to come in kind of like a force and like really agitate it, so all right, so let's see. All right, so yeah, so in the earlier part of so in the latter part of July, so like the 30th and the 31st, and then exactly on the 1st of the 2nd. So like coming into August is pretty like ShamWow kablam. Like in terms of, I mean, what does Taurus have to do with? It has to do with the weather, the earth, you know, it has to do with some other things as well, like, you know, food and resources and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, I made a video before, and when I talked about it, I felt like there would be something interesting going on within us, within our DNA, within our evolution and our spiritual process. So I kind of feel like people should have like what they need by the end of July, if possible, you know, to kind of like to chill for a minute. Like if there is some type of event, you know, this, it's like, it's not exactly clear what it is. Feels like it could be small cyber attack, or I mean, you know, it's like, so we know that a lot of, or the people who most often listen to this channel probably have like known that, you know, we were due for a greater cyber attack. And I don't believe that anything is fixed. You know, I think that yeah. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, and I wouldn't spend too much energy trying to figure out what it's going to be. Just get your stuff together. And, you know, I think as well, it's a really good time this month to get your spiritual house in order, you know, and Mars and Taurus is going to do that through the body. And it all comes back to the body with Jupiter and Aries, with the North Node in Taurus, with Uranus and Taurus. Like there's a major change going on in our body. It cannot be avoided. So regardless of who you are. So yeah, that's that. And then Mercury moves from late stage Gemini, which is probably a good thing because Mercury has been square to Neptune, and that's been causing a lot of like, maybe like maligned expectations and, you know, people not reaching each other in communication. Mercury is moving into Cancer. So I think that's kind of a good thing that it's moving out of this square, but Mercury does not like to be in Cancer. So we have two planets that are moving out of their like most favorable and into, you know, like something that they don't really feel, you know, an energy that they don't really feel good in, right? So Mercury in Cancer is very emotional, communicates very emotionally. And also, you know, Cancer has to do with like mothers, women's issues, that kind of thing. So, you know, it also has to do with kind of like craving like a little bit more comfort or a little bit more safety or a little bit more security, though toward the end of this transit, which is looks like July 19th is when Mercury will move into Leo for a crazy transit in Leo. Truly, like, so and that's, I'm going to talk all about this Leo season in a couple of videos hopefully, and yeah, we can talk about how wild, but with Mercury in Cancer, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's just it's all about like finding like subjective you know, truth and subjective emotional feel good kind of comfort. But then toward the end of that transit, like I was saying, it will come up against an opposition to Pluto, just like the sun will, you know, and before like it moves into Leo, the sun in Cancer is going to oppose Pluto. And, you know, I think that it's going to be a really harsh realization for people because, you know, we've been kind of like seeking this like feel good energy, and we've been seeking like this emotional sense of like relief on some level, you know, and it's just like this recognition that we can't really get that from the outside, you know. With Jupiter and Aries, if there is emotional relief, it's something that we bring to ourselves and not the other way around, or like it's something that comes from the inside. So, you know, I would not look to the external to validate, like, and when I say the external, I mean the screenplay. Like I would not look to the screenplay to validate how you feel. I would not, you know, it's like one of those times where like, you know, if you find yourself looking to, you know, validation, or looking for validation from people that, you know, maybe in the past have made you feel compulsive or like too much, or like there's like an energy there. I just think that like looking for validation outside of yourself altogether right now is just so futile. looking for like that emotional, like, comfort and that feel good energy. I mean, of course, you want to see where it pings in your chart, but like, I think that we can spend this Mercury in Cancer, like really understanding where people are coming from. If we choose to, we can find a lot of like compassion and common ground. And, I mean, really like, interestingly, this is good for like emotional telepathy, like I am sending a feeling, like, what is it? It's like that kind of thing. So I'm going to write a Substack on the energy at play this week that doesn't just have to do with this, but I figured I would update you guys on what's happening. And yeah, take care. Bye.